Well, Charlie, I had a lot of nice things to say about you tonight, but then you happened to schedule me to speak after Jerry Fields, so thanks a lot for that. No, in all honesty, Charlie, it's been a true honor of mine to serve on the High Council under your leadership. And I want to thank all of you tonight for the opportunity to represent you as collegians on the High Council. It's been one of the greatest honors of my life, and so hopefully tonight I can give a little bit back for this great opportunity that you have all given me. 1 year ago, I was sitting right where you are. I was standing in your shoes as the newly elected commander of my chapter. And tonight I hope that I can provide some advice and some perspective that will help you not only make the most of this College of Chapters experience, but also make the most of your term as commander. Because as you'll soon discover, this is about to be one of the hardest, most difficult, most challenging years of your lives. The responsibility is enormous. The liability, even more so. But whereas the difficulties are extraordinary, College of Chapters is no ordinary fraternal gathering. If you make the most of this week, you will walk away with a roadmap for success, a roadmap for how to achieve excellence. But that's a choice that you and only you can make. And it's a choice that you need to make now. Last biennium, Regent Robert Durham coined the phrase obligation to excellence. We've all heard it a great deal this week. But as commanders, your obligation to excellence is an obligation to others. They elected you to lead. They elected you to make the difficult decisions that they themselves were not willing to make. They're counting on you. And this fraternity is counting on you. As Regent-elect Joe Francis said yesterday, if we don't step up, if we don't guard our fraternal values, if we're not careful, fraternities are going to look very different 5, 10, 20 years down the road. I know all of you as chapter commanders agree with me that serving in this capacity, being members of Sigma Nu, has meant the world to us. The last thing we want to do is see that slip away. A great deal of the College of Chapters curriculum concerns vision. I think a lot of you have spoken today in your different breakout sessions about vision. But I think what's great about College of Chapters is it talks more than just vision. It talks about turning that vision into a reality. And that's what leadership is, the ability to impact positive change. But one thing I want to mention tonight is that your obligation to excellence requires more than just the ability to get things done. It necessitates that you get things done the right way. And that's what I think we refer to as ethical leadership. And ethical leadership requires not only vision, but also courage. It actually didn't surprise me much to find that one of the Latin mottos for the Virginia Military Institute, when translated, comes out to being by vision and courage. So make no mistake, you were elected not only for your vision, but also for your courage. Again, the brothers in your chapter trust you to make the difficult decisions that they themselves are not willing to make. They're trusting you to choose the harder right over the easier wrong. And that's not an easy thing to do. But I hope you leave College of Chapters knowing that you're not alone in this endeavor. College of Chapters is just one of the many different ways that the General Fraternity gives back, helps you seek success, helps you in your pursuit of excellence. The other resources include the Best Practice Library, the Chapter Consultant Program, the list goes on. Moreover, I hope that you all go home and seek out the alumni leaders in your chapters because they want nothing more than to see you succeed. As commander of MU chapter, I've been incredibly fortunate to work with two incredible alumni volunteers, John Hearn and Michael Berry, both of whom are here tonight. And when I first took office, they were incredibly honest with me. They said, Wells, at least once during this next year, you will unexpectedly face adversity. We can't tell you what it will be or when it will come, but it's coming. But you can be confident knowing that as long as you're leading with vision and courage, we stand behind you and we support you. Now, they were right. Adversity comes. You've taken a huge step to serve as the leaders of your chapters. You can expect that things aren't always going to go right. But I just hope you leave here knowing that there are a lot of really incredible people out there that have your back, that are looking out for you, and that will give you the support and encouragement you need to succeed. So along the lines of what John and Michael told me, the charge that I want to leave you with tonight is, again, to lead with vision and courage. At the end of the day, you want to look back with confidence, knowing that regardless of the circumstances you faced, you made the most honorable decision possible. You will undoubtedly make mistakes. I did. The best do. But whereas success is not final, failure is not fatal. It's the courage to continue that counts. Those are the words of Winston Churchill, not my own. I want to share with you 3 pieces of advice that have proven incredibly useful during my time as a student leader. The first, simply, is to be kind. I received that piece of advice when I was considering running for commander, and I went to play golf with a couple potential new members from U Chapter with one of our alums up in Atlanta, a guy named Tom Green, a business leader, very faithful alum to Mu Chapter. And when I asked him what he felt was the best piece of advice he could give me about how to be a good commander, how to be elected commander, I thought it'd be something like lead by example or one of the many things that we all hear on a regular basis, but it was so much more simpler than that. It was be kind. And what I found is that kindness inspires results because people who enjoy working with you do it because they realize that they have your respect, that you value their contributions. Michael once told me that if you're ever in doubt as to whether or not you should do something kind, always err on the side of kindness. And I think that's an incredible piece of advice. In the same vein, John told me once that you should take every opportunity to praise people in public. When guys in your chapter succeed and do well, please stand up at chapter and give them the credit they deserve. At the same time, you're a leader. Sometimes it's incumbent upon you to have difficult conversations with folks. Make sure you have those conversations, those constructive criticisms. Make sure it happens in private. That's the way to have the most productive conversation. My second piece of advice is to surround yourself with those who will share your vision and support you in making courageous decisions. You can't run a chapter by yourself. I'm sure all of you are beginning to realize that the responsibilities of running a collegiate chapter are huge. And again, there's no way for one man to assume all those responsibilities. So encourage and empower the brothers in your chapter to reach their full potential. Because I think what you will find is that by encouraging and empowering them to reach their full potential, you'll find that the same is true for you. And more importantly, you'll leave a legacy behind you that inspires future leaders to do the same. The last piece of advice I want to share comes from something called the penalty of leadership. And the penalty of leadership is something that you all now have, whether you realize it or not. And the term actually comes from a 1915 Cadillac advertisement. Cadillac had come out with the first mass-produced V8 engine automobile, and their detractors, their competitors, said that the move was premature, that the engines were destined to fail, destined not to work properly. They jumped the gun. But Cadillac responded to that criticism brilliantly, and the advertisement reads, "The leader is assailed because he is the leader, and the effort to equal him is merely added proof of that leadership. Failing to equal or excel, the follower seeks to depreciate and destroy, but only confirms once more the superiority of that which he strives to supplant. There's nothing new in this. It's as old as the world and as old as human passions, envy, fear, greed, ambition, and the desire to surpass. And it all avails nothing. If the leader truly leads, he remains the leader. Master poet, master painter, master workman, each in his turn is assailed, and each holds his laurels through the ages. That which is good or great makes itself known, no matter how loud the clamor of denial. That which deserved to live, lives." So no matter how loud the clamor of denial, leaders with vision and courage survive. Leaders with vision and courage succeed. Clear eyes, full hearts, can't lose. I hope that my remarks tonight don't fall on deaf ears because of my chapter affiliation. I realize that a lot of you have heard the term Mu Chapter plenty of times over the past few days. But what a lot of folks don't realize is that 7 years ago, Mu chapter was not a positive topic of conversation. We were in trouble. We were on the edge of losing our charter. We didn't have a house. We didn't have a membership. And so what at that time was the oldest continually active chapter of Sigma Nu was on death's door. But a small group of dedicated leaders with vision and courage stepped up. They brought Mu chapter out of its darkest days. And I'm incredibly fortunate to stand here as a result of their efforts. All of us here in this room, you look to the person to your left and to your right, we represent a diverse group of chapters. The metrics that we use to judge success from one campus to the other may vary. But I think what you'll find is that north, south, east, west, big chapter, small chapter, old chapter, relatively new chapter, one thing's constant, and that's ethical leadership. Vision and courage will always be the keys to success. Again, you've all adopted an incredible responsibility, a difficult task, but I know you're up to it. If you draw on the resources that are presented to you throughout this week, you draw on your alumni, on the leaders within your chapter, I think you'll find the job will become much easier. Like most things in life, college of chapters is what you put into it. That's what you'll get out of it. And so I want to end with the words of General George Patton. Granted, we have 2 generals coming to speak with us tomorrow. And General Patton famously said, and I apologize for the language, lead, follow, or get the hell out of the way. Because, as we've heard previously, there's no honor in mediocrity. Honor can only be attained through excellence. And it's my honor to call all of you, my brothers in Sigma Nu. I wish you the best of luck this weekend, as well as throughout the course of your term as commander. Thank you very much.